Yeah, I'm picking the Nuggets. I think the rest has been really good for them. They're 12-3 in the postseason this year. The formula for beating a team, Skip, you got to take away something. If you take away Jokic, you deal with Jamal Murray. You try to take away Jamal Murray, and Nikola Jokic eats you up. He's one of two guys that's averaging a triple-double entering the finals. Magic Johnson did it in '82. Wilt did it in '67. Both of those guys won the NBA championship. The Nuggets possess two of the guys that have the highest increase from regular season to postseason. Jamal Murray increases his scoring 8.5 points. Nikola Jokic is second on that list. He increases his number over a little over 7 points.
Yep.
And when you got these two guys clicking, they put you in the pick and roll. They can score inside. They can attack the rim. They have great outside. They're great from the perimeter. Skip, they're just loaded. They're a good basketball team. And what they did is surround those guys with guys that play the game the right way. Nobody is trying to outshine Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. KCP has a role, he plays that role. Michael Porter Jr. has a role, he plays that role. You get Bruce Brown, you get Jeff Green. Brown, the other Brown comes in, the rookie comes in.
Yep.
They played their role to the T. Everybody knows, Murray's going to eat first. Whatever's left, we get to have. And so with me saying that, Skip, I just think the dynamic duo of Murray and Jokic will be too much, and I got to go in 6, and I got the Nuggets winning in 6.
Okay, so you got the Nuggets winning tonight's game 1.
Yes, opening up.
Handily?
I think it's going to be close early, but I'm going to say they'll cover. I'll say they'll cover the 8.
Really?
I think it's 8.5 now?
8.5.
Okay, I think they'll cover the 8.5.
Every game the Heat plays, they're 8.5 point underdogs.
Yes.
Okay, so here we go again. And by the way, all the points you just made, I concur. I co-sign. I underscore. I validate. I agree with everything you just said.
But?
Except for your conclusion. Here we go again. The hopeless underdogs are going to Mile High Denver. It's not Mile High Stadium, but the altitude is Mile High. We're going to do a whole topic about the altitude because you lived it and played it for years and years in Denver, so nobody knows it better than you, sir. But I believe it's going to be deja voodoo for another home team tonight. The reason I believe this is I still believe the Miami Heat are being dangerously underrated and underestimated by everybody involved. Now, I was amused by The Athletic they do great pick articles where they do anonymous quotes from a scout, an executive, a coach. And so they ask the same 3 anonymously every round, pick. And every round, all 3 of them have picked against the Heat.
Right.
Against Milwaukee, obviously, who wasn't going to pick Milwaukee, right?
One versus
and then
me.
all 3 picked the Knicks to eliminate the Heat, and then obviously all 3 picked Boston to eliminate the Heat. So now they're all picking Denver, as everybody is.
Right.
I get it. I have gained huge respect over this playoff run for your now Denver Nuggets, especially for their best player. But I am going Heat in 6. Because of another concept that we're going to delve into a little more deeply later in the show, and that is what Jen just brought up, Cinderella. When have we ever had a Cinderella in the NBA Finals? It just doesn't happen because it can't happen.
Right. So you can't be Cinderella if you go to the ball every night. Yeah. I mean, it's in NCAAs, it's one game.
It's one game.
In the NBA, you got to win 4 games.
Okay, so all of a sudden, March Madness has become June Madness because you can't do this. No. It's a June 1st now, right?
Yes, it's June 1st,
okay. There's something about this Heat team that feels like Team of Destiny to me. And we're going to talk about a quote from the anonymous executive later in the show. But his point is, look, the only way I can make any case for the Miami Heat is they're playing their best basketball at exactly the right time.
Right.
They have caught fire right on schedule.
Right.
Who thought they could beat Boston? Who thought they could go to Boston and win games 1 and 2? Not you, not anybody.
No.
Not even me.
Nope.
And I picked Heat in 6, and it wound up Heat in 7. Who thought the Miami Heat, not I, could go up there and win a game 7 at Boston and not only just win it, blow them off their home floor? Nobody.
Nope.
Okay. So I'm picking Heat in 6, which means they need to win one of these first 2 games, right?
Yeah.
That's how you do this. You steal, quote unquote.
Well, if you think about it, Skip, every round they've won the first game. They beat Milwaukee in Milwaukee. They beat the Knicks in New York, and they beat Boston in Boston.
Thank you for making that point. I don't know exactly which of the first 2 games they're going to win because, as Spoelstra always says, we always do it the hardest way. Game 7 in Boston, you can't get any harder than that because that was a done deal for Boston. Even I pretty much gave up. I hung in with Heat in 7, but I didn't love it.
Right.
I said I like it, not love it. But now it feels to me like if I'm going to pick them to win a game, the one to win is tonight.
Right.
Why? Because it seems like the Nuggets haven't played for a month. That's how it feels to me. And the last time I watched the Nuggets play, I watched them 4 times against LeBron and company. Shannon, I will go to my grave saying the Los Angeles Lakers had 4 chances to win 4 games.
Yeah.
They're right there in the fourth quarter of every game. And we can go on and on. We could talk the rest of the show about why they didn't pull it off. All I know is they were in position to pull it off 4 straight times.
Right.
And not one of those deals did they close.
Right.
But my takeaway was there's nothing wrong with the Lakers that time can't fix, as long as LeBron maybe needs some little cleanup surgery. But my point is I expect LeBron to come back full force next year and to have as good a year as he had in year 20 and year 21.
Well, I think, Skip, you make some great points about them, the Lakers not being able to close. But the question is, in close ball games, we've seen every close ball game. We saw them early with the Suns. We saw it with Minnesota down the stretch, and we see it with the Lakers. When they get into a 1-2 point ball game, their 2 best players always make the plays.
Okay.
Jokić Murray will make the plays. So the question is, do you believe playoff Jimmy down the stretch, a game that's back and forth, back and forth, you believe they can make every play to keep pace with the Nuggets?
That's all they've been doing.
Yeah.
Game after game, round after round. And all of a sudden, your Denver Nuggets have had what seems like a month, it's actually 10-ish days, to sit and fret and sweat about, we're in the NBA Finals. We've never done this before. We've not been here, and our franchise has never done that before.
Correct.
Never won a championship. What game would most likely be the game that they would be the shakiest in? It would be game 1 at home. I'm going to say what I said yesterday. I hate picking these games on TV because these players watch, and I don't want to poke the bear that is Joker. I don't want to poke that big round bear that is Joker, because if I go too hard on this, they'll say, oh, yeah, watch this. And it's what I call self-defeating prophecy. But I have a gut feeling that the Heat have a much better chance of winning 1 than 2. So I'm going to say that they win a close game 1 because that's just who they are. And to your point, what they have done every single round.
Right.
And this is the night that the Nuggets come out, and we always debate rest versus rust. They got plenty of rest.
Yes.
So they got real fresh legs for this time of year. But it's not just rust in this case. It's stage. It's magnitude. It's, wait, ABC is here. The world's media has gathered in Denver, Colorado, what Michael Malone keeps calling a dusty old cow town. He's exaggerating because he thinks they get no respect.
Right.
And now they're up against a team that is defeating their own mentality. Because what's Mike Malone done the whole year, all through the playoffs? What's he done? Nobody gives us any respect. Now they're up against a team that nobody respects.
Right.
I mean, truly, nobody respects them because they are the 8th seed. They are now the first play-in team to make it all the way through and into the finals. So it's hard for Mike Malone to play the no respect card against a team that's the 8th seed.
Yeah, I think the thing is for him, what he's saying is that, we have the number 1 seed and we have arguably the best player in the NBA, but everybody says, okay, Denver's beatable. Denver's beatable. Does anybody fear Denver? Who's afraid of Denver? I know the Lakers are not afraid of Denver, and we saw what Golden State did to Denver last year. Denver. It was like they were the number 1 seed with the best player, and everybody was saying they're very, very beatable. And so, Skip, when you look at it, but let me ask you this. Is there a better duo together playing right now than Jamal Murray than Nikola Jokic. I'm talking about at the regular season and postseason. No duo plays better together. They've assisted each other 343 times if you count the regular season and postseason. No other duo has 300.
Okay.
So playing together, playing off of each other, no duo plays better.
I give you that. But I cancel that out. I undercut it with a question back to you.
Okay.
Is there any basketball team on this planet right now playing smarter and more physical basketball, more team-oriented, unified, chemistry-driven basketball than the Miami Heat are playing right now?
I think the question is, who's going to officiate? Are they going to let them? Are they going to let them play like they played in Game 7, where you literally got to break someone's arm to get a foul call, or are you going to call it a little closer? How do you think Scott Foster? Is it Courtney Kirkland, Josh Goebel, Zach Zarba?
It seems like it's always Scott Foster, right?
Yeah.
He just shows up every game.
He gonna get 3 of the 7. He gonna be in 3 of the 7 games, Skip.
If not all. And yet, I tweeted right before Game 7 the other night. What was it, Monday night?
Yeah.
Memorial Day night. I tweeted, we got the unholy trio here. Because, as you know, it was Tony Brothers and Goebel, and it just felt like
Scott Foster.
Yeah, and Scott Foster, and it felt like all three of them have been nothing but bad luck. And you could just look at their combined records
with the Heat
officiating Heat games. They were death for the Heat. And guess what?
Right.
The Heat won going away.
Yeah. Sometimes you put that in your mind, Skip, and you start to believe it because you remember they showed a stat every time Chris Paul plays a game, and Scott Foster has to be the official. Chris Paul is 1-in-17 in games that Scott Foster's officiated in his playoff career. But at the end of the day, Skip, look, you believe that the 9 days will have a hindrance more than a help for the Nuggets because they've been up too long, where you feel that the Heat have played right up into it. So they only got 2 days off, which is 2 days seems like an eternity, considering you're playing every other day.
The Heat are honed to the razor's edge of extremely competitive basketball because that's all they've been playing. They have been surviving and advancing game after game after game.
Right.
And they are on a roll with huge momentum coming in to Denver. And I just like their coaching setup because it's Pat Riley coaching the coach and Eric Spoelstra, who is completely beholden to Pat and always gives him credit. Spo calls himself the caretaker because he knows it's Pat's franchise.
Yes.
And the combined brain power of those two, I like getting this team a little readier for a Game 1 than your team. I like it that these Miami Heat have been in 3 of the last 4 Eastern Conference Finals. They've been in 2 now of the last 4 NBA Finals.
Correct.
So they have the experience edge, the savvy edge, the coaching edge over the Denver Nuggets, who have never felt the kind of pressure, the kind of, so to speak, heat that they're going to feel tonight. The Heat are the most physical, and I'm talking about mentally and physically physical basketball team, and I'm talking about sheer toughness, mental, physical toughness that the Denver Nuggets have faced all year. So it's going to be, it's another one of those, you can't simulate it in practice. You're just going to get hit between the eyes with it tonight, and your three-point shots better fall because I promise you, they'll mix in some zone. They will make it tough on Jokic
Your
tonight.
3-point shots better fall.
Okay, I got you, because they've been falling like crazy because this team was 27th in three-point shooting, and now I'm looking at
the NBA in the playoffs.
Wait a second. The Heat are averaging, is this possible? 39% from 3 as a team?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Games 1 through 3, you're sensational. Game 7, you're outstanding. Games in the middle, 4, 5, and 6, you weren't too good. But Skip, you know now, the Nuggets get on the glass. They get on the glass like nobody's business. Now, do you want to keep giving them second cracks at you? They want to get out in transition. They have a Clydesdale. He wants to run. That's Nikola Jokic. He has no problem leading the break. And when he's one of the few big men, you don't mind. You normally, Skip, the big man get the rebound, like, give it up, give it up. You're like, no, push it, no, yo, push it, push it, push it.
Okay, for the whole playoffs, in 18 playoff games, the Heat have averaged 41 rebounds a game. Through 15 playoff games, the Nuggets have averaged 44. So it's 44 a game to 41.
Right.
That's not a dangerous discrepancy.
But if you look at Skip going against Minnesota, they got 2 7-footers that they washed them on the glass. You look at what they did to the Lakers, they washed them on the glass. Phoenix is out of the window because DeAndre Ayton, hey, it is what it is. But they got guys that can get on the glass and give you second chance points and give you second cracks at you. And Skip, when a guy averages 14, 15 rebounds a game, they're not all defensive rebounds. Nikola Jokic is getting a lot of offensive rebounds, and that leads to second chance points. That also puts you guys in foul trouble because he's going to draw a foul or two on Bam or Kevin Love because you mentioned Kevin Love. They got, 12? Kevin Love, there's another big, Zeller. So they got 12. They got 18 fouls to play with.
They DNP'd coaches' decisions in Game 7.
Right.
They're going to play some minutes tonight on Joker.
They're going to have to.
They're going to bang away.
Yeah,
you know it, and
right.
I know it. And Jimmy Butler said yesterday, we have to play 5-man defense, which indicates they'll go to the zone, they'll mix it up.
Right.
But it's going to be collapse on Joker, make him kick, but you have to get out and run the three-point shooters off the line, or at least get a hand in their face.
What their 2-3 matchup does, Skip, is that it tries to prevent you from the corner threes, which is the shortest distance between the three-point shot. So they try to make you take it at the top of the key. They try to force you. You're going to take the three that we want you to take, not the three that you want to take.
So when I look at the overall playoff stats for these 2 playoff runs to the finals, they're almost even. Miami from the floor through 18 playoff games, 47%. Denver's 49%. I give you that, but it's close.
Yeah.
They're right there, 39% to 39% from 3. Then free throw percentage, 80% for the Heat, 82% for Denver. Denver is slightly better. I give you that, but only slightly, which indicates to me that this thing is way closer than Vegas is saying, because Boston averaged being an 8.5-point favorite every time they played in Boston. And guess what? The Heat won 3 of those 4 games. Here we go again. Deja voodoo for the home team. They're 8.5-point favorites at Denver tonight.
One of the biggest differences that I see between the two is that Boston couldn't take their inability to take care of the basketball. We saw that doom them. And how many games? It caught them last year, Skip. Had they taken care of the basketball, they could have.
It's those two.
Yeah.
It's the turnover twins.
Yes.
That's what they are.
Yes. And we know Jokic is turnover because he has the ball and he tries a lot of fancy stuff. But for the most part, they do a very good job of taking care of the basketball.
They do.
I'm counting on them doing that again.
Okay, so you said, will the Heat make their threes? All I know is that I look at this is for the playoffs.
Yeah.
For 18 playoff games. Duncan Robinson is making 45%. He came out of the doghouse, out of the doldrums at the end of the bench. He's making 45%.
Yeah.
And he's starting to make a lot of 2-point shots.
Yes.
He'll go up and under.
Yeah, you see, you start to put the ball on the floor because they drive them off the 3-line.
Okay. Obviously, Caleb Martin has been a revelation.
He has.
He looks like a star to me. And yet he makes less money than his twin brother makes for Charlotte right now. Well, that's going to change, right? Pretty dramatically. Well, he's making 44% of his threes through the whole playoffs. Gabe Vincent is making 39% of his threes. And you said at one point during the Boston series, every time Gabe Vincent goes up into a shot, I think, that's good.
I think, yeah,
right?
I did.
Okay.
Was that game 3 where he shot the
scored 29 points. And then he turned his ankle, and here he is.
Yeah.
Which brings me to the best player on the Heat, who was not the best player over the last 5 Boston games.
True.
He was playoff Jimmy for the first 2. What's his matchup going to be? It's going to be Aaron Gordon for the most part. I'm sure Bruce Brown will draw some coverage, and they'll mix and match. I got it.
Green.
Okay. I respect Aaron Gordon, but there's another one of those anonymous quotes. This was from a scout. I'm sorry, this is from the executive. Anonymous executive said, Aaron Gordon's got the whole package because he's big, he's strong, he's put on. It looks like he's buffed up.
Yeah.
Okay, and we know he can jump out of the gym because he's been a slam dunk artist, right?
Yep.
I don't love how his feet move, and the executive echoed my sentiments. I've been telling you, I don't know if he has great defensive feet.
No.
Because he was guarding LeBron, and when LeBron decided, LeBron's 38 years old. When LeBron put his head down, he could drive by Aaron Gordon.
Right.
Okay? You don't think Jimmy Butler can get a step on him here and there? I think he can. He can get to his spot on Aaron Gordon. Can he muscle him? No, he can't muscle him. Can he bully him? Nope. I got it. But he can get a step. And if he gets a step and gets in your kitchen, he cooks because he can cook. He'll let the snipers cook you.
Well, I think the thing is, biggest thing for Aaron Gordon is that don't go for the pump fake. You know, Jimmy got 2 pump fakes before he gets the ball off. then he's going to try to lean into you and try to get the foul.
Listen, the miracle to me is that the Miami Heat survived the Boston Celtics when the Celtics did a number on playoff Jimmy over the last 5 games. He shot 33% from 3 and 39% from the floor. That's not playoff Jimmy that's the last 5 games. Jason Tatum, I know he struggled on the other end, but boy, he was doing a defensive number on Jimmy Butler.
Well, that's probably why the other guys, he doesn't call them role players, he called them teammates.
Yeah.
That's why his teammates, skip the mere fact that we had a discussion or there was a conversation that someone other than Jimmy Butler should have been Larry Bird Award winner, lets you know just how good that player played.
Yep. So Tyler Hero's going to be an X factor. He's not tonight because he's already been ruled out. But he's a 20-point-a-game scorer. Right. He's supposed to be back, according to our man Chris Haynes, TNT, maybe Game 3, which would be the first game back in Miami. So I'm not even factoring him in right now. I'm just saying the Heat will figure a way to win one of these games. And the obvious one, maybe too obvious, is tonight. So I'm going to go with my favorite score. I'm going to go Heat 105, Denver 103. I got it.
So you're willing to mess up a great rotation to bring Tyler Hero back?
Okay, well, that would be a big question because that's a big if. But do I trust Pat Riley and Spo to figure that out? Because the only thing that scares me about my Miami Heat now is they go through scoring droughts where I say, what are you guys doing? Because sometimes they just look at Jimmy like, you going to do it now or we have to wait on you? Okay. Should we try or are you going to try?
Right.
And when they hit those droughts, they can be scary bad on offense because, Shannon, the regular season tells you they were scary bad on offense. Yes. They just couldn't score the basketball.
Yeah, and the Nuggets are scary good on offense.
Well, they're simply the best on offense. So at some point, if they need a detonator off the bench to come play, I don't know, 15 minutes, he broke his hand in Game 1, and he had surgery on it.
Right.
And they said 6 weeks, and now maybe he could come back for Game 3, but he's ramping up his workouts. And I saw some video of he's actually shooting the basketball, handling the basketball. Shannon, as he says about himself, he is a bucket.
Right.
Is he a liability on the other end? Well, you brought it up. Yes, he can be. But if you can mix him into the zone the way you mix Duncan Robinson in, that they just have ways that all the cogs contribute right on time that makes them very difficult to beat.
Well, I'm going to turn him into a water bucket because I'm going to slap the ish out of that hand.
Okay, all right. Well,
he's going to be crying. He's going to be crying.
Hey, I got it. My final point is, and we're going to go deeper into this topic. Going back, this is 2 regular seasons ago, back on November 8th, so it was early in the season. There was the incident between...
We discussed it.
Joker,
and I say one dirty shot deserved another.
Yes, it was Joker versus Markieff Morris, who's no longer obviously on the Heat.
Right.
But it was ugly on both sides.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Butler went crazy. He says he was aiming his vitriol at another Nugget.
I don't believe it.
Well, we'll talk about that. But here's the point. I do think there's some bad blood lingering on the Heat versus Joker.
Right.
Just some bad blood because, remember, he shoved down Markieff. And he was gone
for the rest of the year.
He was gone for it was 30 games, and it sort of effectively ended his season, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. They have some motivation that I think you'll see manifest itself tonight in Game 1. Okay. All right?
We will see, gentlemen.
Yes, you are.
I don't care what you say.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, by the time today's show is over, we will have every aspect of this finals covered and unpacked for our viewers. Guys, the 2 best jump shooting teams in the playoffs are the last 2 standing. It's going to be fun. Excellent points. Great way to start the show, guys. Still to come. Do you think these NBA finals are lacking some star power? And do you see any comparison between Nikola Jokic and one Tim Duncan?
What?
Don't forget, you can check us out every day on the Fox Sports Channel on SiriusXM. Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Subscribe here to get the very latest from Skip and Shannon. Plus, go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.